let's talk about the Bills-Ravens game. This is the game of the weekend in most people's eyes. This is the battle for the MVP, it feels like. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. I think the consensus pick after this game is going to be determined by the winner of this game, by the general public and the media. They're going to say, whoever wins this game, they're going to go, Lamar should win it. Josh Allen should win it based on the result, which could be unfair. I'm not saying that should be right, but I think that's what's going to happen. And the over-under is 51.5. Right now, this spread is flip-flopped in many different ways. It is right now, as we're recording on Tuesday, Baltimore -1 on the road in Buffalo, Connor.
So actually, this is by far best game of the weekend. I couldn't be more excited for this game. And it's also the game I think I feel maybe the second strongest about. I think the Ravens win here. I love the Ravens in this spot. And they were, I think they opened as +2, +1.5. That's already flipped. They're now -1.5 on the line. Week 4 game, this is a while ago. Week 4, they won 35-10. It was domination. It was a blowout. I don't know how much you can take from that game. I did write down the Ravens are a bad matchup for everyone, but especially this Bills defense. For whatever reason, Buffalo struggles defending the middle of the field. They struggle against a power running game like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry gashed them in the Week 4 matchup. He had, almost 200 yards in the first matchup. I love the Ravens in this spot. I think that added element of having Derrick Henry behind Lamar Jackson, you kind of have to pick your poison. And if you're this Bills defense that I don't trust very much, how do you hope to stop both of them? I don't think you can. This is a defense that just let up 44 to the Rams and 42 to the Lions. I think the Ravens will have their way on the ground, and I like Baltimore to win here.
Wow. So I do have a take here, not really on a side or really a total. I think this is going to be a Justice Hill masterclass. I don't even think it's going to be Derrick Henry because the Bills, they're allowing the most receiving yards to running backs in the NFL. They've allowed the second most receiving touchdowns to running backs, and Justice Hill is by far the pass receiving back. Henry has 22 targets. Justice Hill has 51. So whenever they want to pass the ball on the screens or whatever to running backs, it's going to be Justice Hill that gets those targets. Not to say Derrick Henry's not going to have success, but I would say Justice Hill props is the way I'm going to be looking. Both the pass defenses are awful. Like they're just not that good. And I understand the Bills looked great against the Broncos, but again, we could point to that and we could say, Bo Nix, we could point to a couple things there. The Bills are allowing the fourth most EPA per dropback since week 11. Ravens since week 11. I understand I'm kind of contradicting myself. For that stat, since week 11, actually the best in EPA per dropback allowed. Over the course of the whole season, it's not great. During the beginning of the season, they did not look that great against the pass, but they've turned it around a little bit. If I had to take a side, Connor, I'm kind of looking your way. I would say Ravens, as much as I hate to say. I like the Bills. I want the Bills to win the Super Bowl, but it's hard to ignore what happened earlier in this season too.
And Josh Allen's probably the best player in this league. But this Ravens defense, rush defense, they're number 1 in rush yards allowed for the whole year. It's like right at 77 rush yards allowed. If the Bills have any hope in this game, it's going to have to be Josh Allen putting on the Superman cape, which we've seen. I just don't think against Baltimore. I think Baltimore is a buzzsaw, and I don't know if Josh Allen can do it all in this matchup.
Here's the thing, too. In years past, not so much this year, we've seen it go poorly for Josh Allen, too. When he has to put the team on his back, that's when you start to see the turnover bug start to rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
So it really could go either way. If it does come to a point where it's Josh Allen, do your thing. Could go well, could go very poorly.
And this might speak to the overall MVP thing. I don't even want it to be in regards to that, but Josh Allen has no help. If there's one thing Lamar has, he has better help. And Josh Allen doesn't have no help. Josh Allen has worse help than Lamar. Lamar has a better supporting cast. And I think that is going to be the difference in this game. Where it's like, okay, Lamar, if you don't necessarily have it every single down, let's just hand it off to Derrick Henry for 7 plays on this drive, and we'll probably go down and score a touchdown. I don't think James Cook will have that same success against Baltimore's run defense.
Yeah, you whip out the game day graphic. I like the Ravens. I think Justice Hill, Derrick Henry, I think they're both going to have big days. I think Lamar is going to get it done with his legs too. I don't think Lamar is going to have to throw much in this game either. I think they're going to be able to dominate time of possession as well. I don't think it's going to be a 35-10 blowout like it was earlier on in the season. That's tough to, that game just got away from Buffalo. But I could also see, let's say the Ravens have success early on with the ball and they get up to that 10, 14-point lead. Josh Allen's got to play hero ball, which he can do. That's not out of the realm where he can play hero ball, but that's a dangerous spot to be in against this Ravens team that can drain clock, time of possession, hand it off to Derrick Henry, do different stuff with Lamar Jackson. And against this Bills defense, you look at it this season, you go, okay, look at the running backs they've played against in the teams. This is a very blanket vanilla stats I'm looking at right now. But you go, okay, when they played the Lions, great offense, great stuff, but elite rush attack. They gave up 42 points to the Detroit Lions. Yes, they won that.
Yeah.
They had to score 48 points. When they played the Rams, Kyron Williams had a day, gave up 44 points to the Rams. And then a lot of they didn't play that many great running backs this year. Then you go back to the Ravens game, they give up 35. Therefore, but then you look at teams like the Titans and the Dolphins and the Chiefs when it's Kareem Hunt season and the Patriots and the Jets. Like, those aren't great rush attacks when you talk about this.
Exactly.
The few elite rush attacks they've played against, they've had real trouble with in giving up 30-plus points. I think the Bills are going to have to score 30-plus in this game to be in it. I think Josh Allen's going to have to throw for 350, 4 touchdowns, and have just a spectacular day, which he can do. But do I want to bet on that? I don't.
Right. Which he can do. You're right. He can do that. But there's more pathways, more roads to victory for the Ravens than the Bills. The Bills, I think it's a very set in stone. Josh Allen has to have one of the best games of his career or they don't have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Khalil Shakir is going to have like 100 yards, and one of these receivers is going to have to step up in a big way, and James Cook's got to show it. James Cook has got to be able to establish the run, and I think we're going to see a lot of Josh Allen running the ball in this game. So I don't know what his rush prop is, but kind of like Josh Allen anytime touchdown in this one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love it.
Chalkboard. I feel slimy, guys. Chalkboard for me.
You was just minus sign.
But you know what? What have we seen all season long? And eventually I was like, this has to change. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it actually doesn't have to change.